Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides belongs to carbohydrates. Monosaccharides are simple sugars or the compounds which possess a free aldehyde, means CHO, or ketone C double bond O group, and two or more hydroxyl groups. They are the simplest sugar and cannot be hydrolyzed further into smaller units, because these are the small units of carbohydrates. They cannot use further smallest molecules by the hydrolysis. The monosaccharides means they contains only single saccharides. They are also called simple sugar molecules. The simple sugar molecules contains free aldehyde groups or ketone group, including two or more hydroxyl groups. Monosaccharides contain a single carbon chain and are classified on the basis of the number of carbon atoms they possesses, and as aldoses, ketoses, depending upon their groups. Here it is the monosaccharides functions. Functions of monosaccharides. Absorbed monosaccharide enter liver where galactose and fructose are converted into glucose. Glucose enters into blood and circulates to total body. Insulin helps glucose enter the cell for energy. Glucagon helps excess blood glucose return into liver and muscles to form storage and form of glycogen. Means excess glucose molecule present in the blood, that excess glucose converted into glycogen with the help of glucagon. If glucose converted into storage carbohydrate called glycogen, it's stored in the liver and in the muscles. Sometimes glucose is low in the blood. At that time, the glycogen converted into glucose molecules, that glucoses are released into the blood, and that glucose circulate to the total cells of the body. The glucose is also part of genetic material like DNA and RNA, including DNA, RNA, ATP. Glucose is also part of ATP, DNA, and RNA, and other functional molecules in the body. Like some examples here, it is monosaccharides, glucose, fructose, galactose. Here it is monosaccharides, glucose, fructose, galactose. See, monosaccharides classification based on the presence of carbon atoms. First one is triose. The triose formula, structural formula is C3H6O3. If they are contains, means trioses are contains aldehydes groups, aldoses. Example, glyceraldehydes. If aldoses containing aldehyde group, they called glyceraldehydes. They contain aldehyde groups. If ketone groups are present, they are called ketoses. Example, dihydroxyacetone or dehydroxyacetone. Then second one, tetroses. The chemical formula is C4H8O4. Erythroses, trioses. These are contain aldehyde groups. So these are called aldoses. Sometimes are ketoses, erythrulose, means ketoses are also erythruloses. They contain keto groups in the tetroses. Pentoses means 5 carbon atoms are present in the structural formula. The structural formula is C5H10O5, xylulose, ribose, arabinose. They are containing aldehyde groups called aldoses. If ketone groups are present, ribulose. Ketone groups are present, we call the ribulose. Aldehyde group is present, ribose. Hexoses. Hexo means 6 carbon atoms are present. The structure formula is C6H12O6. If they contain aldehyde groups called glucose, galactose, mannose. If they contains, mean hexoses are contain ketone groups called ketoses. Example, fructose. These are the classification of monosaccharides based on the presence of carbon number. If 3 carbon atoms are present, call it trioses. If 4 carbon atoms are present, tetroses. If 5 carbon atoms are present, pentoses. 6 carbon atoms are present, hexoses. If these carbohydrates are contained aldehyde groups called aldoses. If they contain ketone group called ketoses. These are the examples for the trioses to hexoses, and at the same time aldoses and ketoses. And we discuss here it is structure of carbohydrates. Structure of carbohydrates. Monosaccharides, mainly glucose, many represented by 2 structures. Here it is, one is straight chain structure, is also called open chain structure, and ring structure. Here it is straight chain structure. In straight chain structure, 6 carbon atoms of glucose are arranged in a straight line. Arranged in a straight line. It is also called open chain structure of glucose. Open chain structure of monosaccharides. In molecule, here it is glucose molecule, formula is C6H12O6. The glucose molecule straight chain structure proposed by 2 different scientist explanation. One is Fitting Bayer straight chain structure. According to Fitting and Bayer straight chain structure, it contains an aldehyde group, means CHO, and 5 carboxyl groups. According to Fit and Bayer structure, aldehyde group is at one end and another end CH2OH group is present. So between these 2 molecules, CHOH groups, how many here it is? 4 groups are present. CHOH groups are 4. It is one type of straight chain structure about the Fitting and Bayer scientist formula. The next one is Fisher straight chain structure. Fisher straight chain structure. Fisher proposed another straight chain structure. It gives more detail that proposed by Fitting and Bayer. See, already Bayer explanation is completed. From this explanation, more information given by Fisher straight chain structure. The straight chain structure proposed by the Fisher scientist. So the straight chain structure is also called a Fisher projection formula. Fisher projection formula. According to Fisher, the aldehyde group is placed at first carbon, one end of the carbon. Remaining carbon atoms are arranged one behind the other, one behind the other, one behind the other. The last carbon atom contains two hydrogen atoms. See, two hydrogen atoms. The two hydrogen atoms and one hydroxyl group. One hydroxyl group. So the remaining carbon atoms containing one H, one hydroxyl group. One H is one side, another one is OH, hydroxyl at another side. Fisher straight chain structure explains the existence of four asymmetric carbon atoms. Four asymmetric carbon atoms. The four asymmetric carbon atoms are, the carbon atoms are 2, 3, 4, and 5. These carbon atoms are, there are four asymmetric carbon atoms. They are exist different types of isomers. Isomers means structurally changed on the 2 to 5 carbon atoms, the arrangement of hydrogen and hydroxyl groups. So it is the straight chain structure. The straight chain structure gives some more informations like objection to straight chain structure. The open chain structure stress the presence of a free aldehyde group on the glucose, but in chemical reaction indicates the glucose does not contain free aldehyde groups. It is one type of objection, main objection about the explanation of straight chain structure. Means in this straight chain structure, free aldehyde group is present. If any reactions, chemical reactions indicates that glucose does not give free aldehyde groups. So the following objections are raised, means continuation objections are raised through the straight chain structure. From that objection, glucose does not restore a Schiff reagent color. Schiff reagent means in Schiff test, SO2 is passed through the pink colored solution of fission. The pink color is immediately decolorized when aldehyde is added to the solution. The pink color is restored, but addition of glucose does not restore their color. So in Schiff test, the color is cannot regained. So aldehyde, free aldehyde group is absent on this glucose, on this open strain structure of glucose. Now next objection is glucose does not form addition of compounds with sodium bisulfate and ammonia, whereas aldehydes do form such additive compounds or additive compounds. Mutarotation means a freshly proposed solution of glucose crystallized from water or alcohol at low temperature. At low temperature, they are exhibits, means the glucose molecules exhibits a specific rotation. Now, next, so these are the objections of the straight chain structure of glucose explained by the Fisher straight chain structure. It is also called Fisher projection of formula, projection, and fitting in Bayer straight chain structure. The next one is cyclic, the cyclic structure. The cyclic structure of monosaccharides. See the cyclic structure. These are the cyclic structure. These are the straight chain structures. In cyclic structure, the atoms are arranged in the form of ring. The cyclic structures are explained by Howard in 1928. Howard is the chemist, English chemistry scientist. He explained monosaccharides ring or cyclic structures. Howard explained cyclic or ring structures of carbohydrates. Hence, the ring structure is referred to as Haworth projection of formula. Haworth projection of formula. The sugar molecules exist two types of rings. Here it is one type of ring, here it is another type of ring. One is furanose ring and second one is pyranose ring. Furanose ring and pyranose ring. Furanose rings are containing 5 carbon atoms. Furanose rings are contains 5 carbon atoms in the formation. Sorry, 4 carbon atoms in the formation of ring. So from these 4 carbon atoms, 5-membered ring. The 5-membered ring is pentagonal structure. Pentagonal structure. It resembles to ring of a compound is called furan. It's similar to the furan chemical structure. So it's called furanoses. Hence, these are called furanoses rings. The furanoses rings belongs to pentagonal structure. The sugar containing furanoses ring is called furanoses and their glycosides are called furosides. And the next, in this formation of furanoses ring, 4 carbon atoms with 1 oxygen. 4 carbon atoms with 1 oxygen. And the next one is pyranoses. Pyranoses are 6-membered ring. 6-membered ring. It is in hexagonal structure. It is an hexagonal structure. The ring resembles to means similar to the compound of pyran. Hence, this ring is called pyranose ring. This sugar pyranose ring is also called pyranose sugars. Their glycosides are called pyranosides. Pyranosides. Pyranose ring is more common of exoses. Exoses. See, in this structure, free aldehyde groups cannot explained. Free aldehyde groups are completely absent. Free aldehyde groups are completely absent. But in straight chain structure, aldehyde groups are explained. Now, next we discussed here it is structure of glucose. Structure of glucose. So it is the part of monosaccharides. The monosaccharides major component is glucose. So let's we discuss here is glucose structure. The glucose chemical formula is C6H12O6. C6H12O6. It is also called D-glucose. It is also called D-glucose. The glucose structure explained with 2 types of structures. One is straight chain structure and one is ring-like structures. Straight chain structure and ring-like structures. Straight chain-like structures, ring-like structures are clearly present. And it is also called D-glucose, dextrose glucose. It is a simple sugar. It belongs to monosaccharides. It cannot be hydrolyzed further. Means it is the smallest molecule of the monosaccharides. The D-glucose is colorless and crystalline, solid, highly soluble in water. It is sweet in taste. It present in free state in sweet fruits, especially grapes, honey, and many of the fruits are containing glucose molecules. In the form, the present of sucrose, cellulose, starch, and glycogen. So it is also called fruit sugar, corn sugar, grape sugar. The human blood contains 1 milligram per 100 ml of blood. 1 milligram of sugar or glucose for 100 ml of blood. If the glucose levels exceeds this normal level glucose being appear in urine, this condition is called glucosuria. It serves the major metabolic fuel of the cells in the tissues. Oxidation of glucose provide immediate energy for the cells. Hence, the glucose described the carbohydrate currency of the body. D-glucose is a exose because it contains 6 carbon atoms. It contains 6 carbon atoms. According to Fischer straight projection formula, here it is CHO. It is one CHO group is present, free halide group is present, and in the ring-like structure, CHO group is absent. So it is a major glucose structure, and in this glucose formula, exose C6H12O6, it has 6 carbon atoms and 1 halide groups and 5 hydroxyl groups. 5 hydroxyl group. See, of these 5 hydroxyl group, OH is called primary alcoholic group and remaining are secondary alcoholic groups. So aldehyde group at one end of the primary alcoholic group, at the another end it is CHO, OH is present at the another end. In between aldehyde and primary alcoholic group means from here it is CHO to OH. Hydroxyl groups are present. Hydroxyl represented chain structure is present or cyclic structure is present. The glucose is asymmetric or chiral compound because it containing asymmetric carbons. See, already here it is, these are the asymmetric carbons. Asymmetric carbons, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon. These carbons are called asymmetric carbon. So these are the straight chain structure of glucose and these are the ring-like structure of glucose. Next one is glucose types. See, anomers of glucose, L-glucose and D-glucose. L-glucose and D-glucoses are mirror appearance between each other. If L-glucose observed on the mirror, it will express in mirror D-glucose. So these are the mirror appearance glucoses. They are also called anomers. And the next type of glucose is alpha glucose and beta glucose. They shows ring-like structures. See, before the glucose types, they are L-glucose and D-glucoses. These two glucoses belongs to straight chain projection. According to straight chain projection, here it is ring-like structures. These are also anomers of the glucose. So these ring-like structure containing on the first carbon, it is the first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, sixth carbon. On the first carbon, hydroxyl group present below the ring is called alpha glucose. If the first carbon containing hydroxyl group above the ring is called beta glucose. Alpha glucose, beta glucose, L-glucose, D-glucose. These are the anomers of the glucoses. Anomers of the glucose. So here it is, we discussed here it is dextrorotatory and levorotatory. Dextrorotatory, levorotatory of the glucose and fructose molecule. Definition means here it is, dextrorotatory is a term that refers to a chemical compounds that can rotate plane polarized light to right side direction, called dextrorotatory. Levorotatory means levorotatory is a term that refers to a chemical compound that can rotate plane polarized light to left side rotation. So rotation of light right side or clockwise called dextrorotatory, left side or anti-clockwise is called levorotatory. Example is fructose. Dextrorotatory is example glucose. A specific rotation is positive rotation, means right side directions or clockwise directions are called positive directions, positive rotations. If left side direction or anti-clockwise is called negative rotations. The nomenclature based on the plus or D prefix word. belongs to dextrorotatory. If negative rotatory or levorotatory, use the term is symbol bar and L prefix words. These are the differences between the dextrorotatory and levorotatory. The next one is structure of fructose. See, structure of fructose. Fructose is also belongs to monosaccharides. It is very sweet in taste. See, fructose is also called, shows different types of anomers. Fructose is also called monosaccharides. It shows different types of anomers. It is one straight chain structure and rings structure. In this straight chain structure, keto group is present, means ketoses. Ketoses are present, ketoses. And ring-like structures are present with pentanone ring. Pentanone ring is called fructofuranoses. 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 The fructofuranoses containing on the second carbon hydroxyl group is below the ring is called alpha. If the pyrinoses, fructopyrinoses, the hydroxyl group present below the ring of pyrinose, it is also belongs to alpha. If the alcohol hydroxyl group present above the ring is called beta fructofuranose. If that hydroxyl group present below the ring, here it is wrong diagram. If this hydroxyl group present below the ring is called beta fructopyrinose. Here it is beta fructofuranose, pyrinose, alpha fructopyrinose, beta fructopyrinose. So these are the major differences. Alpha means hydroxyl group present below the ring. Fructofuranoses. Alpha fructopyrinoses. Here are also alpha group present below the ring. If that hydroxyl group present above the ring is called beta fructofuranose. In the same time, it is the pentanone ring. Exone ring means pyrinoses. Beta pyrinoses means above the ring. See same diagram, children. Here it is beta fructopyrinose. It present above the ring. If the hydroxyl group present above the ring is called beta fructopyrinose, they are belongs to 6 ringed or hexagonal in structure. If 5 carbon atoms ring-like structure containing above the hydroxyl group on the first carbon is called beta fructofuranoses. If the hydroxyl group present below the ring is called alpha fructofuranoses, alpha fructopyrinoses. These are the anomers of the fructose. And fructose structure, it is a monosaccharide. It is a monosaccharide and ketohexose means keto group is present. Keto group is present on the second carbon atom. It is a sugar with a crystalline state, sweet in taste. It is highly soluble in water. It occurs in plants and honey in the form of oligosaccharides and polysaccharides like inulin and other oligosaccharides containing fructose on hydrolysis give fructose. It is found in the free state in the seminal plasma. So many polysaccharides, many oligosaccharides, they gives hydrolysis. They gives fructose on the hydrolysis. It is a reducing sugar. It reduces Tollens reagent filling solution even though it is a ketohexose. And it is an optically active compound. It is levorotatory, means left side direction. Rotation is called a levorotatory. So it is also called levo sugar. It is specific rotation is minus 92 degrees Celsius. Degrees, not Celsius, degrees, minus 92 degrees. It plays an important role in the cellular metabolism in the intestine, and liver. Fructose is converted into glucose and then used by the organs. It has straight chain structure and cyclic or ring structure. In the straight chain structure, 6 carbon atoms are present in the straight chain. The two ends of carbon have primary alcoholic groups, and second carbon is ketone group. The other 3 carbon atoms, like the third, fourth, fifth, have secondary alcoholic group. See, in this straight chain structure, first carbon, second carbon is ketone group. Third and fourth, fifth carbons are containing alcoholic groups or hydroxyl groups. And the last carbon is CH2OH group. It is the monosaccharides, then structures and functions.